Hello Capricorn, this is your weekly tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries Tarot. It is for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. There's always an extended reading that I hope that you'll join me for. Those links are below. You can also join the Unbound membership, which will give you access to every single extended available. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel and then ring that notification bell because there is a new Capricorn video that comes out every single week. I do 12 zodiac sign readings every single week, and they are energy readings. So what they'll do is they use astrology, tarot, and oracle cards to divine insights into the energies that are of greatest impact to you so that you know how to use them or at least survive them. This week is really interesting. We're going to start off with the astrology like I do. In the beginning of the week, Capricorn, Saturn, which is still in Aquarius, is still square the nodes. That's going to be longer term. But right now, from the beginning of the week to the end of the week, end of Friday, Saturn is square to Mercury. And what that means for you guys is, especially in the way that you talk to people this week, it can come across as very dominating and domineering, especially a little bit later in the week when Saturn favorably aspects Lilith. It can feel to people that you are shaming them or using shame or derogatory implications of some sort to make them submit to your will. There is a domineering energy in your speech right now, especially with regards to Mercury is in Taurus. Saturn is in Aquarius. Different kinds of ways that the crowds or the general populace go about distributing goods, services, any kind of material items. So if you're in that kind of business, understand that there is an inclination right now for other people to feel that you are dominating them. So is this true? It's not about truth. The energy is true. The feeling is true. Their experience will be true. That may not be your intention. So when we read the cards, that's something that I'm going to actually use as insight for how to interpret how people are reacting to you. Be aware of that, because for you guys, what could easily happen is you're like, why are people so mad at me? Like, why are people getting agitated? I'm talking to them with the way that I normally talk. But being that this is the general energy that is emanating from the cosmos right now, that's not the perception. And so you are in a kind of complicated position, whereas, well, how do I be myself if it just feels like everybody's misunderstanding me or feeling like I'm dominating? My suggestion would be for you to listen. Let people talk, and just at the end of their sentences, do the old psychology trick, which is to repeat the last thing that they said to welcome them to speak more. So that, because remember, communication is a two-way street. Communication is both talking and listening. So if you're on the receptive end, there is a sense of you empowering people to be heard while also being able to be a part of the communication process. There are different ways, because but bottom line is, I don't want you to change who you are. But let's put it this way. Overall, this is a good week to listen. And so that you can check in your head if you are, in fact, being more judgmental than usual, more sensitive to issues, especially like social issues, taking things personally where maybe you're not supposed to or shouldn't be taking them personally because they're not personal. That's the kind of thing where you would be able to yourself step outside of yourself and say, am I taking this too personal? Is this even about me? But at least if you're on the receptive end, you can like take notes and have that time to think. Whereas if you're blurting out speech, you can't take that back, and that perception is what could be twisted. I'm just giving you an FYI so that you know if there are any kind of misunderstandings right now. This is actually a good time if you have a relationship where there is normally miscommunications, that you see that somebody is usually accusing you of being too domineering or too direct or too this is a really good time to sit back and listen. And in that listening and receiving, there could be an opportunity for that person to realize where they had been too sensitive and why am I even overreacting like this? That kind of energy, as long as you're on the receptive. Capricorn. Capricorn, what energies needs to come out for Capricorn? What energy needs to come out for Capricorn? Is something beautiful falling into your lap? This is Libra energy. Be here now, be in the current situation. So remember what I was talking about in the astrology. This is the energy, the spirit world, basically giving you another great suggestion, like in my wheelhouse, what can I pull out? What tools do I have to be most successful in this energy? Be here now, be in the present. So since especially Saturn is for a while square to the south node and the north node, this is not the time to bring up anybody's past or to throw up anything into their face. It's the secret to success this week is to be in the present, to be in the current moment, to allow the current moment to exist as itself, detached from anything that's come before or any expectations for the future. To judge something in the here and now and to focus on the here and now is actually going to help you de-stress. It's going to help you calm. It's going to help you meditatively focus yourself so that there is a sense of calm, because this is also Libra energy, calm and seeing the beauty in the current situation. It's also telling me that the current situation is a beautiful thing. Right? You've got a lot of beauty in your life, especially maybe things are really going well with finances, if that's not happening, or maybe it is happening, as well as this beautiful the banging is really distracting me. I apologize. There's a beautiful there's something beautiful in your life right now that is really giving you a lot of joy. That's something to focus on, that joy, that beauty. Staying in those moments is going to help you stay uplifted and focused on the present. And that is the tool in your wheelhouse this week that is going to work the most for you, that is going to help you make the most progress this week. We have set healthy boundaries. Bam. Set healthy boundaries. I don't know if this is you or them, to be honest with you, but Saturnian energy, Capricorns are exceptional at setting boundaries. Whether or not they're healthy is something that we need to talk about, because just because you've built a wall, did you need the Great Wall of China? Like, maybe you just needed a little picket fence with a gate swinging on. You know, I mean, the healthy boundaries are the boundaries that are most appropriate for your needs. They're the boundaries that are going to enable commerce and exchange and relationships, right? In a healthy way. So how have I set my boundaries? Have I set them too firm? Have I created too many? That's what I'm picking up. This is the discussion on the table. And then we have trust in divine detours here. This is Sagittarius energy. This is traveling. So could have something to do with shifting your boundaries because you were traveling, learning something during a vacation or a place that you went to, or you will be looking forward to going, learning like different ways to set boundaries, or having to somehow improvise with boundaries that were foreign to you. So you're trying to respect boundaries that are foreign to you. Let's put it that way. Whether they're real because you're traveling to a foreign country and they don't have the same ethics or culture, right? That's the most blatant translation of this energy is these people are different than you, so they don't have the same boundaries. You know, you go to Morocco, for example, or different places in like Ethiopian food does this too. I don't know who else does it. They eat with their hands, or little pita breads. They just scoop up bread. This is their culture. This is how they feed. This is how they share their food. This has got nothing to do with being less cultured or less evolved. This is part of how they share. So somebody, however, from the States or from Western Europe, which they, you know, our etiquette is 2 forks of, you know, plate and blah, 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 you know, eating with utensils, this may look, what are they doing? You know, there's another great example of, I heard when you go to China, or is it Japan? I get this wrong. They slurp their soup, whereas in Western culture, this would be looked down upon as disgraceful or improper. There, it's flattery. It's saying, I'm enjoying. It's letting the host audibly know, I'm enjoying what you've given me. So this is basically kind of like this is basically like lost in translation, right? This sense, the sensibility between two people, whereas one person is interpreting something that you interpret as bad as good, and vice versa. So it's legitimately this week focusing on the beautiful aspects, focusing on their truth, focusing on their beauty, focusing on, even if this is a situational thing where it's not a person, this is focusing on the beauty of it and the wonderful aspects of it to enable yourself to stay open to shifting your boundaries. Now, this doesn't have to do with like personal relationships. It gets more tricky, right? And with Libra here, that could suggest that, yeah, this is you learning somebody else's love language. We could talk about that too, but right, partnership. This could be their love language that's different, like how they're receiving what you do, even though your intention isn't to do it a certain way, isn't to harm. Maybe you're used to being very direct, right? And shooting from the hip, or saying things exactly how you think them. With Sagittarius energy, that could very well be. You know, Sagittariuses are loved by all, but they have a tendency, the Sagittarian energy, to just speak while they think. They don't think it through first. So ultimately, I think what these cards are saying is focus on what's beautiful and think before you speak. Not lie, don't say what you need to say, but it's good to have that pause this week because you want to focus on the positive, the beautiful aspects, especially in close, intimate relationships. You want to focus on those things, the beautiful things about the person. And it's basically saying, look for the best in everything that they say. And that gets real tricky too, right? Because I don't ever want to tell any of you to, or even suggest that you shouldn't believe your own instincts. You always should believe your own instincts. You know, instincts and intuition. The problem with instincts and intuition is they get muddled with our emotions, and we mistake our emotions for our intuition way too often. And emotions are actually spur of the moment reactions to how we've perceived a situation. Intuition is your psyche. Intuition is deeper. Intuition is even your primal DNA, stuff that, you know, your cells have learned before you even gained consciousness. So intuition is deeper. So always use your intuition, always use your instincts. Those are especially those primal DNA. It's been ingrained into you kind of thing. But this is a good week to learn the difference between your emotional reactions and your intuition, because they're not the same thing. So ultimately, yeah, focus on what's beautiful. Think before you speak, because ultimately, or you could be experiencing it, and you know, in all of my readings, guys, you can always flip the energy. You're going to find yourself in a position for at least until Friday, when that square between Saturn and Mercury dissipates, because Mercury is moving on to Gemini. You're going to find that there's just this sense this week of always feeling tension in communications, right? And that these are tools that are going to really help you, especially when it comes to some sort of intimate relationships. We're going to get a little more on this. Lots came out. So we have Pisces. This is Piscean energy. I don't know if you're dealing with a Pisces or this is just Piscean energy. It's bringing you back to God. Remember, the dominant energy right now is Piscean energy because it's got so many planets in it. As I'm recording this reading, the moon is even there. So we've got 6 energies, including the midheaven, which illuminates the talents and skills of the day, of our current time. And so this is all the talents and skills of faith, of expansion, of higher thought, of faith, of philosophy, of hope, of dreaming up the future, using your imagination to create reality. Right? Like that famous quote says, instead of escape it, to create it. This is the all powerful, because if you see the world the way God sees the world, you don't see any limitations at all, right? So that's what this ever-growing expansive energy is about. There's infinite possibilities. And so ultimately, wherever you are, you can tap into that because it's impacting all of us. That's this Piscean energy. And then we have Apollo, which is the sun, which is the sense of self, which is the illumination of I can do everything. Confidence, the sun is rising. Your self-esteem is rising. This sense of maybe even seeing somebody as your son. So like I said, there is beautiful stuff happening to you this week, including maybe meeting somebody that has encouraged you to shift your focus and interested you so much that they've inspired you to broaden and expand your mind. Yeah, I see a very young, beautiful man here. So I don't know who that is. That could also be your child as well. So let's think about that. Then we have Cancer. As we go into talking about children, we have loving somebody and nurturing them, and also them being extremely moody. And then Leo, which is leadership. And it's interesting that Apollo and Leo have both come out. Apollo is the god of the sun, who helps to sort of deliver the sun to us every single day. His chariot rides it across the sky. He is this beautiful character of illumination. Can't help but be attracted to him. Confidence in how you care, in how you're nurturing, in your nurturing abilities. Leo is also leadership and confidence and love. Leo is love. So there is beautiful stuff happening for you this week. Ultimately, it may be so beautiful that you're willing to change, or you're willing to see or learn, give yourself the time to learn these different perspectives. What I do know and sense is that this is a beautiful energy this week for you. Yeah, so except for that little hookup, catch with that square to Mercury that goes up through Friday, the rest of the half of the week for you guys, because I know this reading comes out on Wednesday for you, Wednesday to Wednesday, that the rest of the half of the week after Friday is going to open up. There's really, I'm looking for my Astro Gold, and it's on my phone. It's really going to be, God, like, beautiful. Saturn isn't unaspected. It's aspected to the nodes, but it's, aside from that, it's unaspected. So there's kind of a freedom and a liberation and sort of your ability to switch modes. And what this could be, especially if you implicate my suggestion of listening before you respond, or listening and taking notes and thinking them through, taking everything that somebody says as a suggestion that you could think through. This is a wonderful time of growth and expansion for you. For you to actually learn and see, almost like decoding, and decoding somebody else's, what somebody else is saying, or even decoding somebody else's strategies. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Or even decoding somebody else's strategies so that you can understand how to implement them and make something work for yourself. So this is an exceptional time or opportunity to learn this week. As long as you can find yourself in the position of hearing instead of speaking. Now, what is puzzling to me is this Cancerian energy with this Apollo. There is possibility for pregnancy. Or something to do with one of your children or somebody that you consider a child, Capricorn. There is success here. There is huge potential. There is something that's just dawning, and it could have something to do with art and poetry. That is really going to lead to a great deal of success. There's a lot of hopeful energy around this. I'm going to go to tarot now. I think it's the right time. Capricorn, I hope you join me. That link is below. I'll see you there.